You are being detained until we can figure out who your name is. I'm giving you a chance to give me your name.
This video shows exactly why knowing your rights matters. This auditor was standing on a public sidewalk, lawfully taking photos, when all of a sudden he gets surrounded by deputies who demand ID without any suspicion of a crime. From the start, the officers admit he isn't breaking the law, but instead of letting him go, they try to twist the situation into a crime of failure to identify. Watch how he stands his ground and doesn't let them trample all over his rights.
Just investigative journalist gathering content for a story, that's all. Here's my hands. Got nothing in my hands, all right?
Why are we taking pictures of the plant?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Raise a little bit of suspicion.
It's not illegal though, right?
That's not illegal, however, it is suspicious in nature. With it being as, you know, what it is. So, you have a vehicle with you?
I'm not answering any questions. Like I said, I explained to him I'm a journalist gathering content for a story.
You have an ID with you?
And so he's already confirmed I'm not breaking any laws, so.
Well, we're still talking to you. We need to identify who we're talking to.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
We're trying to identify who we're talking to just because there was a suspicious, it was called out that there was a suspicious person walking around taking photographs. The way things are right now, we at least need to identify who we're speaking to so we can make a notation that you were in the area, who you were, and what you were doing. If you're taking photos, that's fine. But we still need to find out who we're talking to.
Who I am is investigative journalist gathering content for a story.
Okay, I need your name though.
And I'm taking photographs.
So that's perfect.
Unless I'm being detained. Am I being detained?
It's an investigation, so right now you are being detained. Right?
I am being detained?
You are being detained until we can figure out who your name is. I'm giving you a chance to give me your name. We're conducting an investigation as to what you're doing. Therefore, I'm asking you for your name.
What reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that a crime is afoot?
You're in an area taking photographs of a power plant.
Is taking photographs of a power plant a misdemeanor or a felony?
What is that? Sorry?
Is it a misdemeanor or a felony to take pictures?
Right now you're failing to identify who you are while being investigated by a law enforcement officer. That's the crime that you're committing at this point.
What would that be?
Failing to provide identification to a law enforcement officer when you have been asked to do so.
Is that a crime?
It is a crime.
You have to provide law enforcement with an identification or your name so that when it's been asked upon you not do so.
But you've already confirmed that I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not violating any laws.
Failing to identify yourself at this point.
There's no duty. I'm not refusing. Don't get me wrong. But there's no duty to identify if I'm not suspected of a crime.
Okay.
Is that right?
We're telling you right now, you're completing an investigation as to what you're doing and what you're photographing.
I've already told you that I'm an investigative journalist gathering content for story.
Along with that, we need to identify. We're asking you that we need to identify who you are, so we can make a notation that you were in the area and you're going to be in the area taking photographs. Okay, failing to provide law enforcement officer with a form of identification after you have been asked to do so is a crime.
Okay, so I'm not refusing. What will happen if I don't give you guys identification? Because I don't think it's any of your business who I am. You've already confirmed that I'm not committing a crime. What I'm doing is perfectly lawful. I'm standing on a public sidewalk. Not only is it, just let me finish. Not only is it perfectly lawful, it's constitutionally protected activity. Okay. Did you guys take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution?
Okay. I'm not asking you whether or not you are going to be taking photographs on the side of the road. That's not what we've already clarified that. Right. However, what we're discussing now is the fact that you're failing to provide law enforcement with an actual identification or your name so that we can make a notation that we may contact you. Right?
This is a First Amendment protected right. You guys are detaining me unlawfully. And now you're forcing me to give up my identification, which is unlawful. I'm going to give you guys a chance not to do that. I'm not refusing to do it, but I'm going to give you guys a chance not to unlawfully detain me.
We need to know who we're speaking to.
Are you going to give us your identification or not?
Am I going to be arrested or not if I don't give it to you?
It depends. Why are you refusing to give it?
Because it's none of your business who I am. It's my personal information.
I'm a law enforcement officer. I have the right to find out who I am.
What is y'all's names and badge numbers? Do you have a supervisor?
I do. You want me to come over? Because I'll be more than glad
to please call your supervisor and we'll take it from there, okay? Right. Now I want to make it clear I don't consent to being detained. I like to be free to go and go about my business.
I understand that.
It's the loitering and prowling is what we were looking at because you're in an area at a time that's not common for normal people to be in photographing.
Like I expressed to Deputy Richardson, I do not consent to being detained. I would like to be free to go as soon as possible.
As soon as we can find out who you are and we can possibly identify who you are, you'll be more than glad to go.
All right, sir, I'm going to advise you of your constitutional rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and to have him listen during any question. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you. Before any question, if you wish, if you decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering at any time. You'll also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand these are those rights if I explain them to you?
Hi, I'm Sergeant Ford. How are you, sir?
Sergeant Ford.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jeff.
Jeff, okay.
Investigative journalist. I'm just taking photographs. They've already advised me that that is not illegal.
No, it's not. And no, Jeff, I don't think you're a terrorist. Oh, fine, but if that's all you're doing is taking pictures.
Okay. Am I free to go?
Outside, Jeff.
I know it is. Am I free to go?
What's that?
Am I free to go?
Yeah.
We know
Okay.
who he is, right?
Yeah, what's that?
We don't know who you are.
Well, you don't want to give us your last name or anything like that, Jeff?
I'd rather not if I'm not doing anything illegal.
He wouldn't even give us his first name. So.
Well, you said it's Jeff. I mean, if it's Jeff, Jeffrey, I don't know.
Okay.
But no, you're not doing anything illegal.
Okay. So I'm free to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to head this way if I could just...
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Jeff, you know that, were you recording our conversation between the two of us?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me you were recording that conversation, did you?
No, sir.
Okay, that's illegal under the Florida statute. You realize that?
Actually, it is not.
It's under Security Communications Act is what it is.
Not when it comes to public officials.
No, I think you're wrong, buddy. Okay? But you need to tell me you're recording me. If I'm talking to you, say, hey, I'm recording this conversation. And I'll be fine with that because you've told me you're recording me, okay?
Okay, am I free to go?
Yeah, you're free to go.
Thank you.
So I bring that to your attention.
And that right there says it all. For nearly the entire encounter, deputies kept insisting that this journalist had to provide ID, even though they admitted more than once that he wasn't committing a crime. They tried to spin failure to identify into some kind of charge, but here's the reality. Unless an officer has reasonable, articulable suspicion that you've committed, are committing, or are about to commit a crime, they cannot legally detain you, and they cannot force you to produce identification. Suspicion alone is not a crime. What we saw here was a classic intimidation tactic. The deputies tried to make it sound like his choice was simple: hand over ID or risk arrest. But the Constitution doesn't work like that. The First Amendment protects the right to record and photograph anything in public view, and the Fourth Amendment protects against unlawful detention and demands of identification when no crime is afoot. And here's the most telling moment. When the sergeant arrived, he cut straight through the nonsense. He immediately pointed out that taking pictures wasn't illegal. The auditor, meanwhile, stayed calm, stood his ground, and refused to give up personal information he had no legal duty to provide. He knew his rights and made the officers confront the fact that they had no case. In the end, the deputies were left with nothing but frustration, while the auditor walked away on his own terms.